So I was going through some of the journal and essays that I had favored on DeviantArt over the past 15 years. And some of them over the past 5 to 6 years, if not the past decade, are really interesting because they're by fellow fans that I call TA and are known as Fox of Fiction and others that pretty much did not like the Fiona Fox heel turn that occurred in issue 172. Now, TA came out in one of his essay journals that he entitled "I Might Have Been Wrong About Fiona," and pointed out, I should say, the fact that Ken Penders, had he stayed on board, and I guess this came directly from Ken himself, that had he stayed on board, he was planning to break up Fiona and Sonic mutually, on a mutual agreement kind of way, where they would remain teammates, compadres, friends, but nothing romantic. And I guess this would have opened the door and led towards Sonic and Sally being back together. But now the question that started to circulate in my mind is, well, if that's what Ken was planning to do with the Fiona-Sonic relationship, because, him and Carl Bolders were trading, writing duties at that time, and Carl wanted to make Fiona the permanent love interest for Sonic over Sally, but Ken's like, nope, that ain't going to happen. So you have to wonder if Ken was going to break them up, thus, paving the way for Sonic and Sally to be together again. The question is, what else did he have in mind? What else did he have in mind when it came to Fiona? And that is a good question. And I think, honestly, if you're going to break Fiona and Sonic up, mutually, agreement-wise, whatever, so you can pave the way for Sonic and Sally to happen again, then how do you do a make good for the Fiona character? How do you do a make good for her to have a relationship if, let's say, you had, and there obviously were, there's no doubt, people that supported Sonic and Fiona. How do you make good for that? How do you make up for that? Who do you give Fiona to? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that, with his reputation, especially with his stories and everything, I honestly believe that had he remained on board and not been let go, I think honestly, and this is just my opinion, guys, I think honestly, he was probably going to end up putting, excuse me for a second. Like I was saying, I think honestly, he was probably planning to put Tails and Fiona together. And I know that might sound strange to a lot of people, but again, like I said, if you take a look at his reputation and his history from a continuity standpoint, when he wrote the World Tour arc, where Tails and Sonic went after Ixis Nagas after the Endgame story arc, one of the destinations he had them stop off at was Down Under, which was the Mobius equivalent of Australia. And it's here where they meet up with the Down Under freedom fighters and one Barbari Koala, who showed more than just friendly affection towards Tails. And I mean, the way the scenes were drawn and obviously written by Ken, Fiona was all over Tails like, a lost lover. She was kissing him, holding his hands, blowing him a kiss, stuff like that, telling him to be careful. It's like you read this issue and you're wondering what's going on here. And it's only then that you start to realize that Ken was teasing a romance between Barbari and Tails. And if that's not enough to basically, back up the speculation of him potentially, had he stayed on board, putting Fiona with Tails, how about his Mobius Years Later book? In Mobius Years Later, what did he do? He put Tails with Mina. he put Tails with Mina. Hold on for a sec, guys. He put Tails with Mina, and basically because he put Tails with Mina, again, people liked it, but still, just like with Bobberai, people questioned it. They were wondering, what was this about? Why would he basically do this? Why would he do this, if you will? It's like, why would he put Tails with females, pair Tails up with females that are years older than him, like a Fiona? Why would he do that? And again, I think it's the fact that, honestly, this is my opinion, Ken's a firm believer of love knows no age. That love knows no boundaries, love knows no age. And I think that's why he did it. Which is why I firmly believe that had he remained on board, like, he had pointed out in, I guess on his forums or in an interview or something like that, or on his social media, had he stayed on board, I think he was probably, as a make good for breaking Sonic and Fiona up, breaking up Sonic and Fiona, and paving the way for Sonic to go back to Sally and vice versa. I think as a make good, he was going to probably do Tails and Fiona. I really do. I really think he was going to do it. Why? Because again, you take a look at who he paired up. Antoine and Bunny. Nobody saw that coming, and a lot of people appreciated it. A lot of people appreciated it. They loved it. It's become one of the most popular Sonic ships around, if you will, and it led to a marriage, even though it was originally pinned for 200, but when Ian Flynn came on board, it was moved up 26 issues. But still, it led to that. It led to that moment. And then, on top of that, not only do you have him pairing up Bunny with Tails, you had him pairing up Knuckles with Julie Sue. So why not, complete, I wouldn't say the trifecta, but why not complete the square, the circle, or the quadruple, whatever you want to call it, the grand slam? Why not complete the grand slam, and put Tails with Fiona? Because, that's one relationship fans have been wanting to see. I mean, you look at the fact that, Tails saves her from being blasted at 125 and everything. It's like, why not just go there? Why not just make it happen? And I think, honestly, that was his plan. I think, honestly, that was his original plan, or at least one of his original plans had he stayed on board. Because, again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but if you're somebody like Ken Penders and you're gonna break up, Fiona and Sonic, in a friendly manner, and pave the way for Sonic to go back with Sally, then how do you make up for Fiona not having a love interest? How do you do that? And what you do is you basically make it up by giving her a love interest fans have been wanting to see, and at the same time, you basically give the character that's had a thing for her for the longest time a happy ending, and go from there. And maybe you send in the message that love knows no boundaries, love knows no age, and there you go. And like I said, I think the best, well, like I said in previous attempts at this video, the best, starting point, if you will, is, issue 200, where he originally wanted to do the Bunny and Antoine wedding. That would have been a good starting point for Tails and Fiona, because maybe by then Sonic and Sally would have been together again. We don't know, but if Ken Penders is to be believed, and 200 was originally meant to be Bunny and Antoine's wedding, what better place to maybe begin the slow start to that relationship between Tails and Fiona? I'm just saying. So, in my opinion, honestly, guys, I think Ken Penders, had he stayed on board, just based on what he had done previously, you know, with Barbara and Tails, and then Mina and Tails, I think honestly he was probably going to put Tails and Fiona together as a make good for breaking up Sonic and Fiona, you know, to allow Sonic to go back to Sally. I think he was going to do a make good here by putting Tails with Fiona, just based on what he had done previously. But what do you guys think? Do you think Ken Penders would have done that? Or do you think he would have just left both of them single and maybe have them do on and off, you know, get together, you know, picnic, you know, dates or whatever that really didn't mean anything? What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Give a like to this video, and I am out. Take care. God bless.